it's your job as a trader to be like, okay, cool, since I understand the overall direction, what best position do I put myself in? Am I going to be counter trend trading this instrument to the entry, or am I going to be patiently waiting for it to get to the zone, right? You're definitely better than the guy who started trading in the beginning, you know, and that's the mindset you need to go with, especially when you're looking into these markets, guys. Welcome back to another YouTube video, FlareFX, where we make trading very simple. So it is another week, it is another dollar, guys. As you can see by the title, this week we'll be doing gold, NASDAQ and GBPUSD. So it is a bit different, right? If you're new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, because I post content like this every Sunday, right? And then, guys, if you want the free community, guys, everything is in the link in the description. The mentorship, the free link to my trading community, my Instagram, my TikTok. Make sure to check that out, guys. There are a bit of scammers out there, so make sure the only links you're getting is from this YouTube account, guys. But nonetheless, let's get into the breakdown. Alright, so we'll start off with gold, guys. I will start off with gold on the daily time frame. And funny enough, with gold, guys, I went on a live on Instagram. I go live every Thursday at 4 o'clock, guys, so make sure to check the Instagram. The link is in the bio, right? We went live, guys, and we were talking about how gold has been moving and what we're seeing it for the rest of the year, right? So now, in and of its own, as you really can see, this thing has been on an uptrend, right? And there was a debate on the live whether it's better to trade gold in the lower time frames or the higher time frames, right? And it's each of its own, but I've preferred trading them on the higher time frames, mainly because it's easy to get chopped up, especially with gold, right? Like, look at this. This is the daily candlestick, guys. You really can see this thing is just moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up, right? So now, before we even get into what's happening in the deeper level, let's try and see the trend, right? Before even marking out the market structure, we can already see that this thing has been on an uptrend. Beautiful. It's even breaking structure, right? Nice breaks of structure, and it's continuously moving higher and higher, right? I would classify this as the most prevalent low, and then this as the most prevalent high, right? So now with gold, the main reason why I want us to focus on the higher time frames, like your daily time frame and your 4-hour time frame, is mainly because of this imbalance that we have over here, right? I still feel like gold is going to be on an uptrend, right? But it still needs to fill out the imbalances, right? So we have this imbalance that we have over here, right? Bingo bango, right? Now, when I pull out my Fibonacci retracement tool for gold, right? Because there is a gold strategy. We pull it all the way to the top. Let me switch this over to gold, right? Bingo bango. So gold already shows us that this is the level that we're supposed to be executing on, right? I'll even highlight it, making it look really nice and clean, right? So this is the POI, or the entry zone, right? So since this is on the daily time frame, guys, it is big in terms of for an entry, right? So for me, I will be paying attention to gold as soon as it gets to this point, right? Because as you can see, during the week, this thing has been consolidating. I would even argue that it's been moving sideways, right? And I know a lot of the guys who've been trading it on the 15-minute time frames have been getting it chopped up, and there's a few of the guys that have been trading it and really gaining that consistency, right? So for me, I will still be patient. This is more so the same. It's very similar to last week's breakdown. Like, it's very similar. I am patiently waiting for gold to get to this zone over here, right? I'll even mark it out as POI, right, over here, POI, bingo bango. So once gold does come into the zone over here, right, I will be paying attention to it the most, and I'm anticipating it to buy all the way to the top, guys. That doesn't mean you can't sell, right? You could. Even if I go to the 1-hour time frames, you could probably find nice entries. But for me, as I'm saying, guys, consolidation, it's moving sideways. It's just moving right the whole entire time. So I think with this one, just let it be patient. After NFP as well, like, price action is looking really good compared to the other NFPs we've had, right? So now this is gold. Let's move over to NASDAQ, and then we'll end it off with GBPUSD. Alright. So this is NASDAQ on the daily time frame, guys. So even it looking very similar to gold, it is on an uptrend. If we can just zoom out a bit, right, you can see that it has been pushing all the way to the top. We just had this huge retracement, and then price started triggering higher and higher, right, as you can see. So now, in terms of market structure, we can tell that this low has been made. Price was pushed all the way to the top, came all the way to the downside, has failed to break this low. So this one becomes the most strongest low, right? I'll even highlight it like that. That's the strongest low. Price pushes all the way to the top, breaking other highs. Like, I'd even write it out over here, right? Obviously, if you go to the lower time frames, we can already see these changes of character over here. I'll just mark this out as a break of structure, because I am, like, when I see breaks of structure, I understand that we're now looking for more trend continuations, right? So now I can already see that NASDAQ is playing around on this area on the daily time frame. I'll come in with my Fibonacci retracement tool from here all the way to the top over here and change it into the indice. So for me, I'll be very patient to wait to see how price does get to this point. So when you switch on our thing, it even highlights this nice fair value gap, guys. So we'll even highlight it bingo bango like that. This is the beautiful thing about what is this? My indice strategies, that guys, like, you don't even need the fair value caps. It just highlights them for you automatically, number one. So it is very cool, it's very clean. So I'll just patiently wait for price to come all the way to the downside. Now when I go over the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame gives me like an understanding or deeper understanding to what's happening with price, right? We can see that price did change character over here, so we are anticipating a trend reversal all the way to the downside. We do know this because of the fair value gap that's resting over here, right? And these lows over here can be looked at as liquidity, right? We'll even mark them out like this, right? Bingo bango, there's some lows that are willing to be taken out, right? Even here there's some lows that are willing to be taken out. So we can see that after NFP, price looks like it has came and filled out this zone over here, hence why we're still playing around over here. So what I am interested to see NASDAQ do is one of two things, right? It's either we get a premature sells where price just keeps on going down, right, and then we go to our entry, or it pushes up all the way to the top to take out the liquidity to go on the way to the downside, right? So we will have something similar to this, like a purge of liquidity over here, right, and then price pushes all the way to the downside, right? But overall, guys, this is NASDAQ is on an uptrend, right? Here it's just a situation where we're waiting for it to retrace all the way to the downside. It is gonna take time, but for sure it's better than being involved in this, because look at this, guys. Mind you, guys, these are all 4 hour time frames. So you can imagine you're in this range over here, you sold and price was already, that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, what, 4, let's start from here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. That's a whole day of just price moving in one direction, and we had this big spike, and then the rest of this was just, you know, choppiness, sideways movement. NFP happened, price push all the way to the top, as you can imagine, and then we had some consolidation resting, right? So we will wait for NASDAQ to sink all the way to the downside, right? I am giving you guys a lot of like directional based signals, right? Because it makes it easier. Let's say now you watch my videos, you're like, okay, cool, I understand that when I watch Mr. Flair's video, it gives me the overall direction of a certain currency pair or the certain instrument he's looking at, right? Now it's your job as a trader to be like, okay, cool, since I understand the overall direction, what best position do I put myself in? Am I going to be counter trend trading this instrument to the entry, or am I going to be patiently waiting for it to get to the zone, right? And it's solely up to you as a trader, but I try to do this so you guys can understand that I can't. Today is Sunday, right, or Saturday when I record these videos. I don't know the markets and I cannot predict them, guys, but directional wise, I know I've been killing it, guys. Directional wise, I do know where the markets are gonna be going. Now in terms of entry, it's very hard to give you an entry while the market's not moving, right? So it's better when it's like Monday or Tuesday, hence why I do have the mentorship, guys. These are the guys that get the premium of my premium services. This is where I tell them, okay, cool, this is the possible setup for NASDAQ. We're gonna be looking on selling this thing to our entry, right? Now imagine we can't sell all the way to the downside over here. That's close to really, if this is 2020, I'm on 2200 all the way to 19k, right? So you can already imagine that's relatively close to your 10,200 pips, guys. You can imagine price just selling all the way to the downside, right? So we just need to be patient for that one. So you can imagine price moving all the way to the downside, right? So now let's move over to GBPUSD. All right. So this is GBPUSD on the daily time frame, right? I've had a love and hate relationship with GU, guys, especially since August, right? And the thing is, since I've been backtesting and I've been doing a whole lot of research in terms of my strategy, I've learned to come to a realization that with forex pairs, guys, like price action isn't as consistent as you'd like to see on your German 30, on your gold, right? And it sounds so backwards, because if you were to tell me this 3 years ago, I'd be like, that makes no sense. Like, I kill forex pairs and stuff like that, right? But I've noticed that when the year's coming to an end, it's price action from currency pairs aren't consistent, right? Or especially from my strategy SMC, right? And I've heard a lot of traders even complain that from June onwards, August, like for forex pairs, it's tough, guys. It's a bit tricky. And I've noticed this through backtesting as well, is that it doesn't make sense for you to be trying to meddle too much with forex pairs, especially end of the year. And I'm not saying change your entire trading strategy, right? But I think start to incorporate things like indices and commodities into your trading, especially when these pairs are moving very slow. Right, so now let's get into the breakdown, right? As you can already see, this thing is on an uptrend. Bingo bango, a low has been made, price pushes all the way to the top, it makes this low, it didn't break this low, so this becomes the automatic strong low, right? Price pushes all the way to the top and made that high over there, so this is the range we are playing in, right? This is on the daily time frame. Daily time frame, I already know the market structure. I already know I'm looking for buys, right? Now, bingo bango, we have a break of structure over here, we can already see. Now, I come in with my Fibonacci retracement tool, right? Let me just make sure that this thing is clean, right? Fibonacci retracement tool, pull it from down here all the way up here, right? And then fix it just a bit over here, and then turn it to currencies, right? So this is the currency retracement tool, right? Currencies usually come down to the 73%, hence we see a nice doji candle from what is this, GBPUSD on the daily time frame. So the bigger the time frame, the bigger the signal, right? So this for me is my POI. Right, I'll highlight it nicely. For me, this is my POI, point of interest. Right, now I tap into the 4-hour time frame. Let's see what's happening on GU on the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, we can see that through NFP, price pushed all the way to the downside, even sunk all the way to the downside over here. I think this was the NFP candle actually. So price came in and sunk in over here. When I switch on my thingy, we can see that there is imbalances that price wanted to come fetch, right? We can even see that this is the end of the imbalance. So you can say that GU has already filled out a lot of the things that it wanted to fill out, right? So now I'm interested to see how it looks on the 1-hour time frame, right? As you already can see, price pushed all the way to the top, and then NFP happened, price sunk all the way to the downside, right? So now for me, I can see that, okay, cool, price did take out this low and then proceeded to move higher, right? So during the week, on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be very important. This high over here and this low over here are very important, right? So now two things can either happen. GU can either push all the way to the top and then retrace so we can get entries and push all the way to the top, or GU can push all the way to the downside, purge liquidity, get us an entry, and then we move all the way to the top. Or GU can just keep on melting, guys. That's the future, the thing of currency pairs. Like, you never know, they can keep on melting, you know what I mean? So for us, we are going off of the fact that number one, we are on an uptrend. Number two, we see that price did break structure, so we're looking for trend continuation. This is a trend continuation, guys. I trade trend continuation. Like, my strategy is more so a trend continuation strategy, right? So we're waiting for a lower time frame retracement, or like a lower time frame reversal. Then we can get our entry. Then we wait for price to push all the way to the top, and we can marinate. Now, for my GU traders, like I said, signal wise, I already guys gave you the direction. If you're watching this video, understand that already you have the market direction. Your job is now to look for buying opportunities in this currency pair, right? I might not be with you if you're not in my mentorship or my lifetime signals, guys, but I think the YouTube is more than enough for you to gain that value, guys. Trust me, it is. Trust me, it is, right? So now the word of the day, right? Because I always do psychological tips at the end of the video. And today's psychological tips, like as usual, guys, I try to wing them as most. But one thing for sure is I've noticed with a lot of people is you have to give yourself some time, especially in the game, guys. I think with the other ones, I've spoken about risk management, I've spoken about psychology, I've spoken about consistency, I've spoken about discipline. But one thing for me this year I've started doing more often than not is actually enjoying the process, guys. Like and the thing is, it sounds backwards because now if you're in a losing streak, or maybe everything is going not going according to your plan, but it's always good that you enjoy the process, because once you reach your destination, there's nothing much more that will satisfy you. You trade. Now you can buy the car you want, you buy the house you want, you go anywhere that you want. And the goal here is getting to that consistency, and you grinding towards that makes you really hungry, right? And once you have food on your table, and once you're starting to eat, the journey becomes a tad bit boring, because your whole entire life you've been chasing that, and then you haven't been enjoying it throughout the way. So it's like the journey is way more satisfactory than the destination, guys. And I think if you're watching this video till this far and you're getting this type of content or this type of input, you have to understand that you watching this is you enjoying the journey. You trading is you enjoying the journey, right? And as time goes on, and I think if you're spending a lot of time understanding what Forex is and what it's happening, and you're learning every day, you become better as the years progress, guys. Like you're definitely better than the guy who started trading in the beginning, and that's the mindset that you need to go with, especially when you're looking into these markets, guys, because you can't put a time stamp on it, number one, and number two, you can't rush the process, number two, so it's kind of keeping your head high, really operating the best you possibly can every single week, day in, day out, guys. And before you know it, 3 years, 2 years go by, and you realize that you're not, you're so much better, you're so much more disciplined, you understand your psychology, you even know what type of pairs you like to trade. Like with me, like I know German 13 gold are my pairs, my go-to pairs, especially for the end of the year. If you've told me this a year ago or 2 years ago, I wouldn't have known, and now this year, one thing I can say is I'm starting to enjoy the process a little bit more. And once I started doing that, I've seen more growth, guys, because you understand, once a trade hits your SL, you understand, okay, cool, what do I need to fix, what was there that I need to do, and before you know it, guys, you won't make any much more mistakes as time goes on, right? But as your mentor, appreciate you watching till the end. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, follow me on IG, guys. I go live. But nonetheless, I'd like to end the video over here. Thank you for watching till the end. It's yet another week, yet another dollar.